What's happening, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down your listings, and I want to thank those of you who sent in listings. I picked a few at random, and I think no matter where you are in your journey currently, you're going to be able to learn something from this. Some of you are choosing really good markets, and I want to look into each of these listings and just tweak them, just give my opinion of where they're really good, but also where they could be improved. And just before we jump in, please remember to give this video a quick like if you do find it helpful, and remember to subscribe below if you want to see more videos like this. And for those of you who like the hidden product competition, this video does have a hidden product. Remember, once you find it, comment below what is the product and the timestamp when it showed up. If you're the first to find it, you'll win this video and you have a chance of winning our priority products this month. But let's jump in and review these listings. So this is the first listing, and thank you, Simon, for sending this in. I hope this is also helpful to you. Now, the first thing that jumped out to me here is the title. So we've got 17.7 inch. Now, unless that's a really important keyword, I know it's important for the product, but unless people are actually searching for that, like 17.7 inch natural dried pampas grass, unless they're searching for that including 17.7, I would remove that from right at the beginning, because the front of the title is so important for keyword indexing. So if you know that a lot of people are searching for natural dried pampas grass, not 17.7 inch, then I would move that to the front and bring 17.7 inch later. Now, the second big thing is this main image. Now, this is not a bad main image. I actually noticed you changed it recently, and this is better, but I think it can be massively improved. I think you're going in the right direction with the lifestyle. That's what's converting well, as I'll show in a minute. However, I think this needs to be centered and more powerful. So if we look at the market, we've just typed in pampas grass to Amazon. So this is the most competitive it's going to get. If we skip our sponsored, we can see our first organic ones here. Now, the first thing I want to say is this is a really good market. So great choice here. You can see lower reviews, higher sales. So this looks very good overall. But those doing very well, you can see how the product is centered and really powerful. But they are using lifestyle images as the main image, which Amazon doesn't love, but you can probably get away with, as you can see here. So that's what I would focus on, is move your product to the middle and make it really powerful. You need a great main image and follow suit on your best sellers here, your best competitors. But something I noticed they are not doing, no one is doing, and which I think can give you a competitive advantage here, is packaging. None of these main images show the actual packaging or gift box, and maybe that's because they don't have one, but you do. So you can see in the second image, we can see the packaging here. Now, this is something I would include in your main image. So I would do, as we said, a centered lifestyle powerful image, but also include your gift packaging there in case this is being purchased as a gift. I really like this image. I think the instructional nature of it is very strong. It's very simple. So great job on this. You'll also notice this is about setting expectation. So you can see when the product arrives, they're quite thin and pulled together. But once you do this procedure, you can see how they're going to look. Now, that is something that can actually avoid negative reviews, because people know, okay, this isn't how it's going to look. I need to do this first, and then it's going to look beautiful like the images. So this is a great way not only to teach them how to use the product, but also to reduce the likelihood of bad reviews. Now, the one thing here is I think you can improve this competitive versus image in terms of one, balance. You can see this box is a bit bigger. I would make this one the same. But also here, I wouldn't use the term N as an and. I would rather use a plus sign or the word and here. So I would make that change as well. Also, if you're using uppercase here, I would use uppercase here just so it's neat and balanced. And then moving a little down to our bullet points. These are good bullet points, but I think you can improve them, mainly with our benefit hyphen explain. So for example, on this first one, I would rather start with hand-picked in capitals at the beginning. That's all, dash or hyphen, and then explain about it being hand-picked. And then it flows. I would rather do 100% natural hyphen and then explain with evidence as to that benefit, support that benefit. But what that does for a reader is it helps them quickly look here, and it's just bang, 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 these quick points that they see in a snapshot. Instead of trying to read through these and pick out those important parts, put those only at the very beginning, then explain with evidence for those who do want to read the rest. Now this is the second listing that we got in from Abdullah, so thank you for this. And here we can see this is magnetic sheets with adhesive backing. Now on this, I think you can improve this main image, and I'm going to show you what I mean. If we look at the market here, I really like how this image stands out, and what this comes down to is lighting. Because these little grooves which show the separation of these blocks are so difficult to see, you need really good lighting. This actually looks like a 3D render, but this is what I would be looking at. You want to make sure you're placing or casting those shadows perfectly in this image to show that it is these squares when it is. So that's the key here. I know that these sheets here don't actually have those grooves, but in terms of these ones, for me at least, it seems like they are fading. Like it's not very clear to see those. So I think that's key. Otherwise people might think it's just these pre-cut sheets and they can't actually make those small squares. Also on this image is balance. I think you can improve the balance just a little bit. It's not terrible, but I actually really like your second image here. In terms of balance, in terms of filling that full image and just the kind of aesthetics of the image, I prefer this one where your blocks are also much more defined. Overall, I wanted to mention these images are really good in terms of brand uniformity. So you've used your brand colors and style throughout these very, very well. Sometimes sellers will stray away from their brand colors and start using all different colors. This looks really uniform, like it's from a professional, credible company. So great job on this. Also very good instructional image here. On this last image, I would change in to to. So it brings some fun to your life. And then the last thing I would mention here is I feel like there is additional room for you to mention the other use cases, like the fridge magnets. So I think you can do more on that. I know it's seen here, but I think it's not emphasized enough. I think you could perhaps have one image which shows that this can be used for pictures, for fridge magnets, for badges, for all of those use cases. I think that will be quite powerful as well. When customers search, they want to see their exact use case. That's a very strong converting mechanism. If you show their exact use case, it gives them that last bit of confidence to make that buy. So that's what I would show more prominently in one of your images. The other thing is I would shorten some phrases where applicable. This is really not bad, but some people kind of go stray too far away from keeping it short and they get too detailed. I'm one of these people. So you could say, for example, cut custom dimensions and just remove two. Peel off the paper layer. So you could just say peel off layer, stick the picture to magnets, stick picture to magnet. So you could shorten these up a little bit. Maybe that last one's not a good example because it's a little bit too short, but in these cases, always think about that quick and snappy. On the title here, I really like how this begins, magnetic sheets with adhesive backing. Now that is a good keyword here. So we're avoiding using like measurements or things in the beginning and getting the best indexing for that. What I will say is this 5 pieces and 80 pieces is quite confusing. I'm not sure on what I'm really getting here. I know that it's these dimensions is 5 and these dimensions is 80, but it could be stronger if you just say 85 pieces, for example. Just make sure it's not confusing to customers. Also, this type of these tech details don't have to be in the title. You can rather use the space for indexing and have these in the bullet points. So that's what I would look to do here. It's going to give you much more keyword space here. The other thing I wanted to mention here is that you have to be careful of having a line too close. So you can see here, it could be a line, a hyphen, a bracket. But if 5 pieces, for example, is a keyword, you wouldn't want to have that line right next to it. It's going to hamper keyword indexing. So just be aware of that. You can see here that if one of these, let's say magnetic squares, was a keyword, you don't want this line to be too close to it because it's going to impact indexing. The robot's going to take the line with that keyword. So always keep that in mind. On your bullet points, I would not use these brackets. I would use these terms, then a hyphen, a space, and then a hyphen to make sure it can grab any keywords there if there are, and then explain with evidence. Another thing is stick to a certain type of word here. So you've got strong and premium, but then you've got durability. So here it would make more sense for this to be durable. So strong, premium, durable. So keep it to a specific type of word, an adjective or a noun, just depending on what you choose. But action words are usually a bit stronger here. Strong and premium is very good. I would change this one to durable. The description also looks good. I can see you've managed to use HTML formatting here, which is lucky because Amazon is removing the ability for you to use HTML formatting if you're doing a normal product description like this. Remember, you can also get brand registered and do A+ content, which I recommend for everyone. But this is very cool that you've managed to use HTML indexing here to bold, to create these bullet points. So that's very good. And this is our third listing here from Jeff. So we can see this is a heated vibrating massage ball. Really like the title. I can see you have your brand name right at the beginning. Sometimes Amazon's going to automatically put that for you, or you can insert that at the beginning. But good choice of keywords here. I know that some of these are very strong. Nice short title as well, which Amazon favors. Now in the main image, this little fire icon is a little bit sketchy. It should be okay. In this market, we see a lot of this, but sometimes having a badge or a type of input text or emoji in the image can cause listing suppression, but it seems to be fine. It's simply something to watch out for. If your listing gets suppressed, remove that type of thing and see if it fixes it. But it's not a major. I know it's trying to represent that this actually heats up, which is actually a powerful feature. So maybe you could think about another way to represent that, like maybe heated rings at the bottom of this image here, like heated rings coming out. So this is vibration and then heated rings, but overall not bad. I just think you could maybe make it more uniform. It feels like this can kind of detract and maybe make the main image feel a little bit cheaper. But again, just my opinion. I really like the images overall. This text spec, I think you can improve simply by not having the text run over the actual image, but I really like it overall. So if I show you another example, you could do something similar to this where the text just doesn't override that image. It's going to be a bit neater and easier for your customers to read. But overall, really cool lifestyle images here. Again, I would just watch running over with your text. It will just make it a bit clearer and a little bit more professional. For example, here with the H. Also in this image here, I think you can improve this one. So this text is still fading a bit into the background. I can see you've put this overlay to make it pop more. It is helping, but not enough. Also these images, it's a little bit detached. So I can see travel, etc. But what I would do is rather spread these images out a little bit more down this side, and then above each you can have travel, gym if this one was gym, work if this one was work, etc. It's going to be less to actually read, more quick for the customer to see the use cases here and how the product is applicable within each. And then on the bullet points, so I really like how you're marketing it, a physical therapist in your pocket. So this is really cool. What I would do is not use the brackets. I would use a hyphen after that point. So I would capitalize this part, then just a space, hyphen, and then explain that benefit with evidence. But this is a really good example of kind of staying in the same tone. So you can see long-lasting battery life, look forward to relaxed muscles, a muscle ball for all the aches and pains, give the gift of comfort and ease. You can see how that's all rolling and gelling together. It's the same voice, tone, and just types of words at the beginning of the bullet. Now you just have to emphasize them. These feel like they're fading into the rest. It's difficult to read and see. I might only be interested in one of these as the customer. Help me find it quickly. Capitalize, space, hyphen, and then the rest. Explain with evidence. Another thing I wanted to mention is you're running a $10 coupon, which is huge. That's going to help with conversion. But what I would recommend is just test this out and make that 10%. And see what happens. You might not actually see a drastic drop in sales, and of course that's far less money. It's going to be like $6.99 instead of $10. So that's what I recommend trying here. I'm a big fan of percentage off instead of dollars off in terms of these coupons. Now you're also selling this product in Canada. So I recommend no matter where you sell, as long as it's a non-US market, you should also be looking at the .com market. What's your potential there? What's the market looking like there? How are people differentiating there that you can bring to this market? But also, can you expand to the US market? So if we look at vibrating ball massager on .com, which was a popular autocomplete, we can see here that there looks to be opportunity. These are our first organic, only a couple hundred reviews, and even here, 49 reviews. So second organic. So I would definitely be looking at whether or not you can expand to .com from Canada. That would be a huge boost in sales if you get in at the right time. This still seems to show opportunity. So just keep that in mind as well. And lastly, we had this listing from Ideal. So we can see this one is chair bands for kids. Now the first thing, this hyphen is a real problem. So this is going to hamper your keyword indexing, because let's say chair bands for kids with fidgety feet is a big keyword. Well, yours includes this hyphen. So make sure you add a space in between this. Really important. I think in this case, add a space, take away these hyphens, and then just bracket 15 pack. Also, if 1.4 millimeters thick is not that important in terms of keywords, I would move that later within this title. Then also here, you have natural resilient latex, easy to install chair band for quiet energy release. At this point, these types of terms, this is all marketing. Why is your product better? And that's very good, but I would move these later in the title and use the space for your big keywords. So chair bands for kids. What's another huge keyword for you? If it is chair band for quiet energy release, cool, that comes now. And then this marketing stuff comes afterwards. Remember, people really focus on the images when they buy on Amazon. They're not reading your title as much. So make sure that you're using the title as much as possible for keyword indexing first. That's the most important. Then add some marketing towards the end. Also here, if these are keywords, remember, don't have a lack of spaces. You need to add a space after or before each keyword so that the bots don't use that hyphen with the keyword. But I actually wanted to show you this listing because it's one of the best ones here, and there's a lot that you can learn from this. So it's also a brand registered listing. So images look very good, good brand uniformity. The one thing I would be careful of is this text, which can be a little bit too small, especially here. That's very difficult to read. If we bring this up bigger, this is quite small. So can you bullet point that? That's the first question you always want to ask when you have a big paragraph. Can I bullet point that really quickly and shorten how long it takes customers to read this and get my message? And I'm just thinking here is that you could almost use these bands as kind of little outlines for specific text if you ever wanted to. That would be a cool way to kind of use the product as a kind of outline of certain points. Over here it comes with eco-friendly paper envelope. It's quite an important point for a lot of customers, so I would make sure that's maybe a little bit bigger here. But overall, I really like this. I think it gets your message across. And then you also have a video here, so really good job using this feature. Now, the other thing here is save an extra $2 when you apply this coupon. I would change this to 10% and see what happens. Yes, that's a little bit more. It's going to be like $3.10 if they use it, but 10% looks like a lot more than $2 in a lot of cases. So that could help boost your conversion as well. Bullet points really good here, but again, I would capitalize these first points, then space, hyphen, space, and explain with evidence. Now, if we scroll down the listing, you have A+ content, an excellent job on this, by the way. Now, something that a lot of people do, as you have done, is that they go for these images which contain all of your text and imagery because it looks beautiful. As you can see, it's these nice templates, looks great. However, this means you aren't using the text inputs. For example, this is a good example here. This last template actually allows you to input in Amazon's text box certain stuff and then add images next to it. Whereas these ones, these are full width images, so there's no text input. One thing to consider here is when you do this, you're also losing out on potential keyword indexing. So just keep that in mind. You might want to make one of these other big images an image plus text to make sure you get all your keywords onto this listing if you haven't already. But that's just one thing to keep in mind, but it looks beautiful and good job on this. Now guys, the last thing I wanted to mention here is for those of you who don't have brand registry and you have a description perhaps similar to this, you should try and use HTML formatting if you can. I'm going to drop a link below to a free tool which will HTML format your text here. However, Amazon's removing the feature. It's removing your ability to use HTML here. So just keep that in mind. That said, what I have seen lately is Amazon is increasing the number of bullet points you can use. So this might be a sign that they're actually taking away the product description because no one really reads it. So what this looks like is that Amazon's actually going to be removing the product description altogether. Maybe. I'm just theorizing here. But they're adding another 5 bullet point options in a lot of cases. I was helping someone set up a listing yesterday and they could input 10 bullet points. So just keep this in mind, go into your listing and see if you can add those other 5 bullet points. And that's another great way to get in your keywords and have it a bit better formatted than just having a blob of text in your description area. So guys, those are 4 listings and how I would optimize them. Thank you again for sending those in. And if you want your listing optimized like this, you can also find a post in our community tab. I'll drop a link to it below. You can actually send your listing through to me there and I may choose yours for our next video like this. But let me know what you thought. Let me know if you found the hidden product in this video. Remember to smash like if this was helpful, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.